the absolute best. Which is important for this video because I'm calling it now, Nerf is so back. Because this morning they posted a video on their social media channels that show off not only a new Nerf line, highlighting the fact that NERF ELITE darts are returning, not that we didn't already know that, but also 3 new blasters in that line. Remember this image? Yeah, we couldn't tell if that was actually new dart blasters or just art. And it turns out we're getting these 3 blasters, and one of them looks really freaking amazing.
But Walcom, it's an ages 8 and up blaster. That means it's only gonna hit like 70 feet per second. It's not gonna be good at all when I can buy a blaster right next to it that shoots so much harder.
And this straw man character that everybody finds annoying is why you're a straw man character everybody finds annoying. You're absolutely wrong. Because I have a feeling one of these blasters at a bare minimum is gonna have a bright future for modding. At least I hope. That's the fun part about these videos, is before there's any actual hands-on with these foam dart blasters, I get to make this video and just hope that they're actually good until reality comes crashing down. But with at least the final option, the one that I'm the most excited for, I can show you 2 reasons why I think this thing will have a ton of mod potential, making it an extremely exciting announcement. You see, Nerf is at its best when it's doing something unique and gimmicky. Not every gimmick is gonna pan out, of course, but it's awesome to have that gimmick when the dart blasters are gonna be 60 to 70 FPS things that we've gotten several times over. Which is why it's annoying when Nerf makes the same blasters over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, because not only do they have virtually no modification potential whatsoever, they're not even worth really taking a look at unless you're a child, which is not what this hobby used to be. You go back 10 years and we were buying all sorts of foam dart blasters to rip them open and see if they were moddable, and when they were, it was one of the best things ever. And yes, of course, the ages 14 and up blasters are gonna hit a lot harder and be a lot more capable. But they're always basically purpose-built. They're pretty much designed to do one thing, and that's fling foam darts pretty good. That's why it's cool when there's the ages 8 and up blasters that have some kind of unique gimmick to them that makes you want to use the blaster and play with it and squeeze every little bit of performance out of it you can. The problem being is that NERF N series never did that. Every blaster in this line is pretty much a blaster we've already had before, only it shoots the new NERF N series darts, which are the same foam darts that are like ever so slightly better, which didn't make any sense. Because when you're buying those foam dart blasters and looking at the darts, these are always right next to them in some capacity, whether from X-Shot or Dart Zone, it doesn't matter because they're always better than NERF ELITE darts in every single capacity and way cheaper. This is 200 nitro shot darts from Dart Zone. You can find on shelves at your local Target right next to all the Nerf blasters, and they're completely 100% compatible with them. And tell me how much this costs. Very nice. Now let's see Hasbro's offering. I don't even have to look at it. I already know it's ridiculous. So you can understand why they try to make new foam darts that don't work with anybody else's offerings and then completely ignore the fact that they made new foam darts and just make them work like the old ones, but they're not compatible, and then all the new blasters are the same blasters just designed to shoot that new ammo type. Which is why it's so exciting to see a whole new line, a theme even, from Nerf that really we don't get too often anymore. I mean, we had like Dragon or whatever, but that was Nerf Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, really, I miss the lines of like Zombie Strike, not Nerf Zombie, that Zombie Strike, and Doomlands, and NERF Rebel, which is funny because this is NERF Rebel Ops.
Rebel Ops.
Lots of green, lots of blue, lots of gray, and a little bit of orange in there to boot. A lot of people say these characters look like a Destiny fire team because you've got the Warlock, the Hunter, and the Titan. But really, I feel like they're common nerfers because one of these guys looks exactly like Kamen Rider Snipe from Kamen Rider X8. Let's start with the first new blaster, which is probably the least exciting of them all, but we always gotta start somewhere, and that is with the Ammohawk.
Ammohawk, specialist in intimidation and defense. Ultimate ability, customizable Ammohawk dart shot.
Called so because it has a mohawk made of ammo. But there is a gimmick here that you haven't really seen Nerf do before, and that's shields, like what Boomco did. But instead of being like the dart catchy sticky shields, it's darts. You use darts to block yourself from darts. which honestly is kind of cool. So when we get down to the brass tacks, this blaster is really nothing we haven't seen before. It's almost identical to something like the Nerf Zombie Strike Quad Rod or the millions of Alpha Strike blasters that ripped this off, or really just Hasbro in general abusing the Nerf Smart Air Restrictor patent until everybody, these things are usually not moddable, they're generally just kind of boring to play with. It does mean that you can take your blaster, load 4 darts into each one of the barrels, prime it back, fire a dart, and you can repeat that process until there's no more darts in it, and then reload it, probably from your ammo mohawk. And this is fine. It's compact, it's cool, it's got a grip guard thing, which I'm a huge fan of. And overall, while it's nothing special, it really is kind of just a standard Nerf archetype at this point, and it's a great first option. It could have been a single shot blaster like a Nerf Jolt, but they went the extra mile to give us something substantial at least, but then they threw a little bit of a gimmick on it. So this blaster does have multiple rails around the entire thing, and it has 2 of these Ammohawk ammo holders that swivel. So you can actually use them in whatever configuration you want to kind of flop them out like shields that can block incoming projectiles. After all, what's the best to block a lightsaber? Well, another lightsaber. What's the best to block a foam dart? Well, literally anything, but in this case, it's gonna be another foam dart. Immovable object meets unstoppable force. So it's a pretty okay blaster with some decent play potential and a niche that it could possibly use to make itself more widely adopted in the foam battlefields. But of course, we gotta scale up from there, and that's where the NERF Rebel Ops Deadeye comes in. Another very familiar archetype in the foam flinging ecosystem.
Deadeye, specialist in battle versatility, ultimate ability, free rapid changing combo for long to close range attack.
The Deadeye is a pump-action revolver with a stock and a scope. Unfortunately, the revolver cylinder doesn't look like it flips out or is removable or anything cool like that, which is a huge missed opportunity, Hasbro. It's 2026. Other places have already done it. You could do it if you wanted to, and you chose not to. Docking you points for that one. But it's got a standard pump action grip. You pump it, pull the trigger, fire a dart, repeat, empty the cylinder, and you can reload it from the stock, which carries quite an assortment of foam darts. But this is the retaliator of the NERF Rebel Ops line. So the scope actually slides off the rail and can attach to the front of the Deadeye to work as a barrel extension, or in this case, they are considering it a suppressor of some sort. Keep in mind, this is a revolver. The suppressor wouldn't really do anything. Exactly, but there's already people in the comments talking about the Nagant. The point is, that wouldn't really work. And, well, at least it looks cool, right? It's an attachment that would clash color-wise with all your existing foam dart blasters, but it does appear to be a standard NERF N-strike tactical muzzle attachment point. You know you just smiled, hit the subscribe button, because if anything changes with all these things I'm talking about, because this is, again, really early in this development, I will be updating the channel accordingly. But of course, the stock also has to have some kind of gimmick on it, and it does. You can remove it. Hopefully it uses a standard NERF N-strike tactical stock attachment point, and you can place it on the tactical rail where your scope used to be. That is now your muzzle attachment. And then the dart holder things fan out to once again copy Boomco and be a shield of some description to block oncoming projectiles a little bit. And overall, that's pretty cool, and this makes a lot more sense than a magazine affair because you can very easily reload your cylinder on the fly from your dart shield. Really good option. But it remains to be seen if this is NERF N-series plastic quality or NERF Ultra series plastic quality, which if you forgot by now, NERF Ultra was actually pretty darn good when it came to durability. It felt great. But that's just the free breadsticks on the table at Olive Garden. Now we're getting to the main course. This is your tour to Italy. The NERF Rebel Ops Doom Cannon.
Doom Cannon, specialist in game-breaking firepower and battle domination. The ultimate bazooka blaster.
Oh, that's such a good name, Hasbro. Well done. I'm glad you thought this one through. Doom Cannon, because it looks like something you'd find in John Carmack's garage. He was one of the guys that made Doom. But also, this blaster is really wholly unlike a lot of other things we've gotten in NERF ever, or at least in a very long time. Because it's a big frick-off cannon, and it could fire Demolisher rockets or Mega XL or even just standard Mega, and I think everybody would be happy. But of course I'm happy because it's a shotgun.
Ultimate ability, Super Shell Tri-Shots.
Let's play that back one more time. Again. Come on, editing Walcom, one more time. This blaster is not only a 3-dart shotgun per pump and trigger pull, but it fires up to 4 times. It holds 12 darts. Except it also does this.
Game-breaking capacity.
The entire front of the blaster pivots open for you to remove the cylinder and replace it with one of the 4 other cylinders on the blaster. That is the coolest thing ever. And if you're doing math, that means this thing has an onboard ammo storage capacity of 60 darts. 3 darts per blast, 4 per cylinder, 5 cylinders total. That is way cooler than it has any right to be. It could have been something like the Nerf Doomland's The Judge. Dumb name, probably taken from Blood Meridian, but this thing barely ever worked ever. Replaceable cylinders that hold multiple shots, but it carries all of the cylinders on the blaster at all times. You don't need to have a rig with magazines and stuff all over you. You can just grab this one blaster and you're probably good for the entire Nerf battle. But if you're not, there's cylinders, really easy to reload on the fly. And this brings up 2 important things, because it is, of course, pump action. Hope it has slam fire, but apparently Nerf has pretty much abandoned slam fire because of noise concerns? Really? Won't someone please think of the children? But even if it doesn't, there's 2 things about this blaster that gives me hope that even if it's not a very good performing blaster out of the box, it can become one. The first thing is that the entire front of the blaster flips open. This means that it's a replaceable part. You could manufacture something to go on the end that could make it larger. So you could have revolver cylinders that have longer barrels, therefore you could utilize more air pressure and fire darts farther. And the other thing is, it's pump action with a ton of room behind it, which hopefully means that you could put better internals in there or an air tank. So even if this blaster isn't very good, unless Hasbro solvent welds the thing together specifically to stop us from doing this, it's going to be a very important blaster. And this has me really excited. I have hope for Nerf once again. Hasbro, I know you can't really change anything at this point because these blasters will probably be out sometime April, May, June at the latest, summer, hopefully. And hopefully the price tags are pretty okay. I'm hoping the Doom Cannon is like a $40, $50 blaster max. Even if it's a $60, $70, if it's good, if it's everything you want, if it actually can put 3 foam darts downrange, each one of them hitting 70 feet per second velocities, unlike every other Nerf shotgun where obviously they don't do that, they go like 40 or 50 feet per second velocities, then I'm sold and I can't wait to get my hands on it. The other 2 are, they exist. That's about all I can say about them. Will I do videos on those? Well, hopefully I get all of them so I can do the first 2 really quickly and then dive right into the Doom Cannon. And I know this comment section is gonna be filled with a lot of cynicism, but I really hope you leave a comment down there full of cautious optimism in order to counteract that sheer pessimism, because I think this time Nerf might actually be back. And this is just 3 blasters out of everything they could have this year. We really don't know. And it's gonna be fun to find out.